If you thought Takir Dragonstorm had the right feel before, it got a lot better as soon as we got to that pre-release. In today's video, we're going to talk about what happened at these pre-releases and what players need to know about the singles this week as we approach the official release date of Takir Dragonstorm. It's like going to a movie that you've been waiting all year to see, only to find out it's completely sold out and you have no way to go. So now you're just going to hear about it from friends who went and actually had the experience. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel today for another video. And in case you missed it, yeah, we're talking about Takir Dragonstorm because this went off a lot better than people expected. A lot better than almost anyone expected. Now, as a person who attended multiple pre-releases this weekend in the local Ontario area, it was kind of insane to see how many of these things were not only sold out, but turned people away at the door. I'm talking like, oh, I thought I was in. Sorry, you're not in. We don't have your name down. You hadn't paid for it yet. You didn't show up. Other people took the seat. Sorry, we didn't have enough to go around. Nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry, we only got... It went on and on. It was insane to see how many people got to these pre-releases and said they couldn't join or didn't know it would be this busy and this sold out. It was one of those phenomena that I just think it doesn't come around every day. I've been to sold out pre-releases before, but not where I have 15, 20 people at the door of a store that only holds 28 people. Going to another store that holds 70 and having 50, 60 people told they can't go. It was crazy, guys, and it was awesome at the same time because a lot of us did get to experience it. A lot of people did get to go. And it was a really good time had by so many Magic players. And yeah, I feel bad for those who didn't get to go to these pre-releases. But again, it is one of those experiences a lot of us are going to remember. And even if you didn't get to go, it'll be an experience. You said, man, I wanted to go to that so bad. I didn't get a chance. It was completely sold out. It was just one of those times in Magic where everyone was on the same page and it blew our minds. So way to go. And the stores who I went to, by the way, handled it very well. They were very gracious, very nice. The players I was around were fantastic, very kind, by the way. Again, awesome. So glad I got to go out to these things and experience it for myself. I usually don't get to go to two, and this time it was fantastic, okay? One with my mini-mox and some friends, and the other one with just me and Ventric. It was awesome. Great job, great times, awesome. Now, the other thing I want to tell you guys about is when we got there. So you're waiting for the pre-release to start. Do you know how many people at both pre-releases went up and started buying packs for fun, buying bundles, buying collector boxes and splitting it amongst a couple of people, or a few people just buying collector boxes and ripping them open right there? I must have seen, by my calculation, in the smaller store, it was around $7,000 of product opened while I was there at that one particular pre-release. And the other one, I'll be honest, I stopped counting at about 8,000. It just got too busy and I couldn't watch everything transacting at the machine, like at the front of the desk. So it's a lot of money changing hands in this very short period of time. Everyone excited, everyone's stoked up, everyone talking about the cards. It just lit everyone's brains on fire with excitement, and it is awesome. It reminds me of back in the day. It really does. It reminds me of going to the original Cons of Takir pre-release, and you couldn't like buy boxes at that point, but you could get the intro decks with like a couple of packs in the back, and people would crack those open whenever they got the chance. It was like $14 for like the 2 packs plus the pre-constructed deck. Awesome. But now that we've talked about opening packs, people not being able to go to the pre-release and losing out on that moment, still feel bad about that. Here's the second part of this. With all those cards that got opened and everyone talking about the value of all these cards, this much product being opened into the system is not the norm. Now that is good news for players who want to get their copy of 4 for their new standard deck. That's great for players who are hoping prices are going to fall in the interim in the next week or so as more product enters the system, as more players get their stuff and open it en masse. Amazing. But there are some of these cards that are definitely going to go up, and there's a lot of these cards that are definitely going down. I want to share a few of these with you guys because there's a lot going on in the market space, and a lot of people were talking about it. Now, our first card is, of course, Mox Jasper. You guys can see up until, right near the end of March, this thing was hovering around the $90-something mark, and it just crashed like a bullet, okay? Let's take a closer look at the card. I mean, this thing went down a lot. let's not forget the Mox Jasper, for what it does, it's still a contingency card. It needs something else to make it work. You need something else that's going to count. So you got to have some kind of low casting cost changeling, something that counts as a dragon to make this thing activate. And it's legendary, so you can only use one at a time. So this one here has that shortcoming that just, it became apparent. And a lot of people who pre-bought at those high prices, I do feel bad. We did try to warn people. I know a lot of your friends probably talked you out of it, which is a good thing because it already lost 50% of its value. I saw these selling on TCG Player for like 26 bucks on Saturday, so we can see how far the prices came. It has recovered a bit, but I don't know if that's going to hold the more we get into this market. So be aware, Mox Jasper is definitely on its way down. Now, our next card. When we're taking a look at cards that people wanted, let's look at the Mistrise Village. This is one that everyone thinks is going to 50 bucks. Now, allow me to explain. Let's take a close look at the card in case you haven't seen this one before. Right now, it's still around $14 for this version of it. There's a full art as well. But the Mistrise, it just does something for Commander that a lot of cards wish they could do. It says the next spell you cast this turn can't be countered, and this thing doesn't have to come into play tapped like the lands of Throne of Eldraine and stuff. It's contingent, right? This land enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. Well, in a multi-layered deck, you're going to have no problem, but even then, it's not that big of a drawback early in the game to get this out there. And making your spells uncounterable, well, this one's going to have a lot of legs later on, and a lot of players believe this one's going to 50 bucks. I mean, almost everyone I talked to, when they saw that I'd opened a couple of these in my pre-release, they were blown away. The guy, you got two! You got a full art regular and a full art foil. That's insane. I get it. And that's why I'm not selling them, because people are like, hey, these are going up. I'm like, let's take the ride. Let's see what goes on this coaster and see what comes up next. So this is one of those cards that people may be underestimating. We'll have to wait for the long run, but still very interesting to see what people are saying. Now, okay, here we got Draco Genesis. This is a card that everyone thinks is going to keep falling until it's about 10 bucks. Now, this one here, it says you may cast dragon spells without paying their mana cost, but of course it is 8 itself to get out. Unless you can sneak this onto the battlefield faster, it's still going to cost you a lot to get this out. Now, after it's out, it's going to pay dividends if you can keep it on the battlefield, but at the same time, is that a $30, $40 card? A lot of people think this is going to that $10, $15 range, so we'll have to wait and see. Ugin. Guys, this was the talk of the town. Ugin and Elspeth were like the ones that everyone was hoping to crack. And here you have Ugin, the Eye of Storms. Again, it's falling, but you notice it didn't collapse. It's just kind of leveled off. Because again, the playability of this inside Commander is going to be just phenomenal. And everyone was still talking about, did you get an Ugin? Did anyone open an Ugin? How many do we get? At my pre-release, out of both pre-releases, I saw 3. So I don't think it was very common inside the pre-release kits out of the 2 that I went to. Hopefully you guys had better luck at your pre-release. Now here's one of those cards, the Kin of All, Betor. When you look at this thing, it had a pre-order price at like 30 bucks, but it fell right away. People realize it's a fun card, but it's not necessarily going to be the game-ending card. The idea of getting that much toughness onto the battlefield to really make this thing go off, well, it seems like it's a hard thing to do in a pre-release, but that doesn't mean cards like this can't bounce back, and that's something that players have to consider going in, is that some of these cards are going to make a comeback later on that we may not recognize right now. Now, the last card I want to share with you guys is going to be Taval, the, of course, Arbiter of Virtue. This card, again, started out that pre-order pricing at 40 bucks, went to the 20 in mid-March, fell down, and it's all the way down to like 5, 6 bucks. When you look at cards like this, you ask yourself, Flying, Lifelink, 6/6, spells you have to cast or Delve. I mean, is it going to be worth less than 5 bucks a card, or is this thing going to recover? There's a lot of opportunity in some of these cards that players don't recognize yet, but it's something I think a lot of players have to consider going in is, where are the prices going to fall, and where is your acceptable limit on which cards you're after? Because some of these cards already to you might look like a deal. If they're a deal to you right now, you might want to grab them. Cards like the Mistrise are cards I think players are going to know is a good card, and I'm afraid they're going to jack up too quickly. If you happen to get one in a pack like I did, I would just hold on to it and see what happens. But at the same time, you know what? Chances are it's going to fall for a little while as new products come onto the market and people kind of forget. And when they forget, that's opportunity. When there's opportunity, it means you can cash these things in later to get a whole bunch of stuff that you probably couldn't have afforded before if these cards regain value. And many of these dragons are going to be ignored in the short term, so it's better to look at some of the price points and see if you can gather up a little bit. I mean, all in all, when you look at how this set is being received, a lot of these prices are holding fairly well. I didn't put Elspeth on the list today, but she was doing great. She had a lot of people interested in her, and we're going to have a lot of sales of that card. But of course, the price was trending down last week when we started getting closer to release date and people started talking about it. We saw the prices trending down on many of these cards, which is normal. This is not weird to see cards going down in value, and there's going to be cards that were low that are going to start spiking up. It's something to pay attention to and be aware of, but it's not the end of the world either way. I want to thank you guys. I had a great time at pre-release. I want to hear what you guys did. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys drop some comments. Let me know how your pre-release went. Did you have to get turned away? I'd like to know that as well. And of course, if you got to go, how was it? Thanks again for sharing your time with me today. Thanks for hanging out with the Moxman. And of course, if you enjoyed today's content, if you liked hanging out here on the channel and dropping some comments, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notification bell. We're getting closer to that 30,000 subscriber mark, and that means we're having a party that you'll all be invited to. Thanks again. I'll see you guys soon. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to my fantastic patrons, to the YouTube membership members of my channel. Because of you guys, daily uploaded content like this is made possible. I want to always take that moment every day to make sure you guys know that I really do appreciate the help you show here on the channel each and every month. To everyone else out there viewing the content and enjoying yourselves here, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. So hey, have a great day, everyone. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You've made it to the end. Congratulations. No, I'm serious. You made it this far. It's pretty impressive. Now, for all the pre-releases I went to, both of them, a small one and a big one. Number one, I got hammered at my first pre-release. These guys are like good players. And they got really good pre-release kits. I did not. I had really big honkin' dragons, but they had an answer to everything I put out by the time I put it out, and it was too late. So, I'll be honest, I got smashed. But at the same time, I'm glad that the people who couldn't get a seat and got turned away took it with good nature. Nobody was angry. They all kind of said, yeah, I should have called in. Yeah, I knew better. Oh, I told you we should have done this a week ago. This is what we get for not paying attention. We knew it was going to be popular. And then other people are like, you know what? I took a chance. I thought it would show up. We got a Friday night here. I was hoping to get in. It was great. So everyone took it good-naturedly. Stores were very gracious, like I said. And at the end of the day, there's another pre-release coming. There's another thing around the corner we'll all get to enjoy and play. So I'm glad about that. But Takir was one of those ones people are going to remember it. It had the good feel, the good vibes. High fantasy is back, and that's what we wanted to see. So good for us. Guys, thanks again. Thanks for hanging out. See you again, tomorrow.